Before this episode of the Boo Bros podcast starts, I just want it to be known that this episode was filmed on June 6th, 2021. So any information that is shared today that has already been announced at the current time that you're watching this, just know that when we were talking about it, it wasn't announced before that since it was filmed on June 6th. Let's get into the show.
Listening to another episode of the Boo Bros, where we talk about all things horror and haunt related. So kick back and relax as you enjoy another spooky edition of the Boo Bros podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Boo Bros and welcome back to another episode of the Boo Bros podcast, episode 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around. We have a couple episodes. This is the first podcast I'm a part of, so that's exciting. But on the panel today, we have Michael from Hallowed Thrills, Connor from Connor, Florida, Rob from the Howling Hour, and none other than Adrian from LoshTV. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to my TED Talk. Please turn to page 20.
Usually we record these podcasts in the middle of the night, but this one's a little different. It's pretty early for our two West Coasters in the call.
Dude, it's 8 a.m. for Rob and I right now, and it's
okay.
It's a little bit crazy.
Just wipe the crust out and we're good to go.
Yeah, but we got a bunch of news today regarding Haunt, regarding Universal, regarding Disney. We have a little bit of everything. Movie reviews. There's a couple controversial topics that I know we'll get into that are like debate topics. So we'll first start off with something simple. And let's start off with the elephant in the room that just got announced. Howl O Scream, Orlando, Tampa. Howl O Scream dates just got announced for Tampa, and then Howl O Scream Orlando actually just got announced for SeaWorld. So I'm gonna open the floor to anyone who wants to discuss it.
I guess I'll kick it off. First off, if you want to see a really in-depth discussion about this, our last video with myself, Zombie Chris, and Eddie Tainment, we did a whole discussion about this. If you want to hear just a little more in depth on that,
Link in description.
Link in description, yes. And I was honestly, I don't know about you guys, but when this got announced, I was completely shocked. I didn't hear any little like hints of this maybe happening. Like it just came out of nowhere, and I didn't really think SeaWorld Orlando would ever get Howl O Scream because we already have the one in Tampa like an hour away from SeaWorld. I just figured it would always be that would be Howl O Scream, and then SeaWorld would be the kiddie Halloween event, and that's that. So I was totally shocked that we got this, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, honestly, as a person who lives out of state, and if I'm coming in, I'm going to be flying into Florida to go to HHN. I'm not going to be getting a rental car, so I wouldn't be driving all the way out to Tampa to go to Howl O Scream.
But I wouldn't mind driving you out there.
But now that they have, anyways, now that they have one in Orlando that's literally right across the street from Universal, I could literally walk there from my hotel and go if I really wanted to.
Pretty much, yeah. What do you think,
I think
Adrian?
it's crazy last week when we were there, seeing the differences of how far everything is compared to like in California. Like SeaWorld Orlando, you could, if you're on top of Mako, you could see the volcano from Volcano Bay. Like it's crazy how close it is.
It's relatively super close. It's scary. But I'm excited. I wasn't expecting this at all. Only thing I expected was maybe something little, because we got every other SeaWorld park ended up getting an event besides Orlando, because we had Howl O Scream San Diego, San Antonio's been around, Tampa's been around, Williamsburg's been around. SeaWorld Orlando was just left there in the dust. And I mean, it's positive. Like you guys have been saying, it's something to go to. And if you're traveling from out of town, like Michael was saying, it's really good because if you're going to Horror Nights, you can take another day to go to SeaWorld.
Yeah. And I think in case anyone's wondering, I believe it's September 10th through October 31st. So it starts a week after Horror Nights and it ends at like the same time. So pretty long run. They don't have as many weekdays as Horror Nights, but I know some of the days on like Thursday when Howl O Scream is running, tickets are only like $30, which I mean, honestly, I would pay $30 just to go to the park at night and do the coasters. But then you're also adding in haunted houses and scare zones and shows. So it's a really good deal.
Connor and I were talking a little bit about this yesterday, is the fact of how big that park is and how like kind of secluded everything is, makes for like the perfect haunt event. Like the trees and just the way that the park's laid out is, I know Rob, you can't really like speak for this, but like that park is, it's interesting. It's like, it reminds me of Magic Mountain with the trees and shit.
Okay.
I could imagine it being really dark in that park at night.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be much lighting.
I was gonna say, I wonder how much lighting they're actually gonna use.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, what's
that
the big
park
reason
around like
for
8
a
o'clock
separate
is
entrance?
dark.
Yeah, they're using a separate entrance for Howl O Scream, which is really weird.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think it's
saw
because they want to separate the crowd from Spooktacular, whatever they're calling it. I don't know, the kids event, and the Howl O Scream crowd. And
so there's less of a bottleneck. Yeah,
I have a theory that area in the front there, when you're coming in from that side entrance, is gonna be like a first fear kind of scare zone, what they've had in Busch Gardens.
Okay. Well, wait, where's that interesting at? Is it interesting entering through Mako, like that area? Or
it's like by Icebreaker.
It's right behind the.
that's
that
like
amphitheater.
multiple multi-purpose like area, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
How many houses do you guys think we're gonna get at this?
I think it can range from 3 to 5.
I want to say 4.
What their budget is.
Rob says 5.
Yeah. I'm not really sure on what they have as far as space goes to see where
They have a lot of space.
They have a lot of space. Yeah, because I remember
Yeah.
me and you talked about it, Adrian, when we went to SeaWorld
Yep.
the other week.
Yeah.
You were like, this could be used, this could be used. I wonder if they're gonna have a haunt. Clearly,
Yeah.
Clearly they did.
some kind of psychic.
I'm thinking 3 or 4, and I have some speculation on what a couple of the houses could be. Just my own speculation that I've come up with. Not rumors.
That's why you've been saying ahoy.
Yeah. Yes, I've been
Boy, ladies.
I've been slowly sneaking the ahoys in the group chat this morning to get you all. So, I do think there will probably be a Siren's house, just based on the media event that they had for this.
Why would they push the Sirens Call so much if there wasn't everyone?
There were siren characters that led the
I think we're gonna get a show based on the
show.
Sirens.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
And my house prediction that I'm sticking to is the Black Spot, because Howl O Scream has been known to relocate houses from time to time, and Black Spot fits in at SeaWorld Orlando if they're going for kind of a nautical type theme. And the location for Black Spot in Tampa is looking like it's going to be something new. Is looking like a vampire house. So my prediction is they move Black Spot to Orlando. Mic drop.
Now, with the locations, I just want to add in before we move on. I think with the 2 new events, Orlando and San Diego, I think that 4 to 5 houses is a safe bet. Like just to test the waters. After that, I feel like they're gonna be like, let's do 8 mazes.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do 8. I don't think they'll jump that high.
Probably.
No, I don't think they'll jump that high, but I'm just saying like
Tampa hasn't even done 8 yet. Tampa's done 7.
Oh, I thought Tampa did a lot.
Nah, Tampa did 7.
Okay, well then,
Scare
they won't jump that high.
You haven't been to Busch Gardens, but that
then maybe they'll do
really
3 to
spaced
4.
out.
Yeah,
that park is massive.
Busch Gardens is wild. Yeah.
But no, talking about that rumored vampire maze though over at Tampa, do you think that they're gonna have some new sort of like icon, like a Nosferatu type thing?
Possibly, yeah, possibly. It could be interesting to see.
What you laughing at, boy?
Who's flickering the lights?
Dude, I swear to God, I just got a SpongeBob Hash-Slinging Slasher shirt, and I almost wore it for this podcast. I should have worn it.
Oh, man.
There was someone early on in the group that was so obsessed with Hash-Slinging Slasher, and I think it may have been Connor. It was like early in the group chat when we first started it last year.
Oh, man. Maybe. Sounds about right.
But to wrap up Howl O Scream, we're not going to keep the topic too long in it, since, like Connor said, we do have an in-depth video. It was done by Chris, Connor, and Eddie. So I'll leave that link down below in the description. But we need to talk about HHN Hollywood construction, sending it over to the West Coast, because I was out there yesterday at the park, or yesterday. This podcast filmed on June 6th. I don't know when it's going to go up, but I was up there, and construction is going crazy. I mean, I know you East Coasters were surprised on how much we can see.
Yeah, it's insane. You guys can see everything.
Very jealous. wish we could see as much as you guys see.
So Rob, when you look at those construction photos, just specifically from Curious George, what comes to your mind?
I mean, you kind of talked about it earlier. The format of a certain maze kind of looks the same, but you know what? But you know what? I'm happy we're getting a maze. Supposedly we're gonna get a Beetlejuice maze down there too, so I'm excited for that. But the mazes look good, a good sized, and it's just I'm just happy we're getting something as opposed to not getting anything. So I'll take those 2 mazes down there as opposed to nothing.
Yeah, I will say, for it being in that spot, they are pretty big mazes.
Yeah.
And also the little flame that's leading people to believe it's the Dante's Inferno facade. It's like so visible. Like you don't need to like do some certain angle. Like it's just right there. It's almost like they want us to know. But the thing is, with Pandora's box being rumored to be next to it, the chairs and like props like that, they cover them. So I'm just confused. Like, do they want people to obviously know Beetlejuice is coming and they're just hiding Pandora's box? Because it's quite clearly a Pandora's box, like you talked about. When I was looking at, and the video will already be up on my channel, when I was looking at the construction, if you just take a second to look at the layout of that maze that they're constructing, it looks the exact same as Pandora's box version 1. Like the first room is big, then you turn the corner and there's already a stand for a character to be in. It's a really interesting. But I want to get kind of everyone's take on this. What to make of the sign being removed for the rumored Halloween 3 facade or maze in general?
See, I just think that it's a weird thing for them to do at this point. I mean, it's already been up for so many weeks. People have already documented its existence. Same with the Hotel Shanahan or what, Shanahan.
Oh, Hotel or Rose of Shannon, I think it is.
Yeah, that one. Like you've already seen so many of these things that lead to this house being that. Why remove it all of a sudden?
Yeah, I kind of thought, and I'm not sure, but my thought was like, maybe they're just doing it because like too many people in the GP were seeing it and it was getting spoiled. But like you said, it had been up for a while. So it's like, okay, well, the damage is done at this point. So why even bother taking it down? Maybe maintenance, but that doesn't really make sense either. Cause again, it wasn't up for that long. And it's going to have to be up for a whole Horror Nights run. And I don't really know what could have caused it to need maintenance. So I don't know. It is a weird one, but I still think it's like happening, but we'll see.
I guess the real question would be like, I know you can see the silver shamrock logo on the side by the, like in the Waterworld queue. You know what I'm talking about? I wonder if that's still there. Because if that's gone, then we have a genuine like, oh shit, it might be gone.
See, I was going to walk back there, but it was kind of sketchy because I went there in the morning and there was no line for Waterworld. And
just walk in, just
yeah, and I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Just checking here, guys. Just checking here.
I'm not going to be that one person just there, like, because you can't in the express line, like there's no wall right there, so you can just peek like that. Like you don't have to really like, it wouldn't be trespassing, you know. But I don't encourage it, and I wouldn't. Like, I just don't feel comfortable doing that. But yeah.
If you want to see Orlando construction, you trespass. No.
Yeah.
The only way.
No, we don't advise that. Before anyone takes a clip out of context, we don't advise trespassing.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And those people who have done it, shame on you guys, because you guys are the people who are in the event.
Yeah, you are the problem.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame. But yeah, Pandora's Box, Beetlejuice, Halloween 3. Those are the big topics right now. One last little thought on, you want to say something, Michael?
Yeah, so I have a question though about the Parisian Courtyard facade.
Oh, the book?
Yeah, the book. It does. What is? It doesn't make sense with anything that we've seen.
Okay, let me pull up Justin's tweet about this because he broke it down.
Yeah, it's Billie Eilish. It's coming back. No,
people are saying that it's Brides and it's just the book, the actual book of the. It's just the actual book of that they were.
Okay, so this is coming from HHN Manix on Twitter. It's also very possible that the book is for Bride of Frankenstein Lives. The opening of Bride of Frankenstein is Mary Shelley saying there is more to the novel Frankenstein. So the facade here could be the Bride of Frankenstein Lives as a sort of continuation to that idea.
Yeah,
so kind of
that's
doing not the same story as Orlando's was, but continuing on to that novel of Frankenstein.
I don't know, man. That's just really pushing to have something different as a facade for that.
But the thing is, though, like, what else could it be?
I don't know.
Like-
That's the thing. Maybe it's something we haven't even considered being a possibility.
Here's why I'm so set on it being Bride of Frankenstein, is because if it were going to be something else, people already would have been talking about it. There's no maze, knock on wood, but there's been no maze in the past that people just didn't expect that wasn't already a rumor or a leak.
Hey, man, you never know. Maybe
So-
they're watertight this year.
Maybe
You know,
like
Anything-
You
we
say
saw what
that.
happened with the water
You're so
world,
wrapped
says
up-
watertight, water
you're
world.
so wrapped up on those signs being up for Halloween 3 that you haven't even considered the fact that there could be something completely different at Persian Courtyard. Come on.
Oh,
You never
well,
know.
you know, I like I said in my construction video, I don't know. I said it's rumored to be Bride of Frankenstein, but I don't know. Like, I just genuinely don't know. It's because the only thing that I have in reference is Justin Sweet, but that's it. There's nothing else that proves that it's Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, guys, is I've been right when it comes to a lot of stuff when it comes to HHN. Now I mean like 1% right. When it comes to this book facade, I think it's going to be brides. I think they're going to use, you know, like kind of the story of that as far as the book. And I think they're just probably we don't have a lot of money to do new things. I think they're probably just going to use, because we had Creep Show last year. So I think maybe they're just trying to find a way to use some old props that we had from last year. Again, this is speculation. So I think, again, just switching it up, trying to do something new. And I think I had said like, oh, I thought it was going to be like stories of Universal monsters or something. And, you know, the bride was probably gonna be one of them. So I think that's kind of where maybe they're using this facade is we've had the, you know, the comic pages before from not last year, from 2019, and they're just reusing it. And it's getting us to talk about it, and it's kind of putting some doubt in people's mind as far as what it's going to be, because it's a book. And then just to go back to the Halloween 3 maze real quick, I think they took that sign down because we were so like, everyone's just been like, oh, we're getting Halloween 3, and now we don't know. So there is a little bit of suspense with the community, is like, what happened? So that's I feel like they did that just to put a little bit of doubt in our head, because there hasn't been any official announcement. So when they do announce it, it'll be something along the lines of, so where it's like, okay, we didn't know for sure, and now we know for sure. So it's just to throw some doubt in our head.
Look, man, here's the thing, right? Is I don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these mazes. Like, Beetlejuice could be in Persian. It could be Handbook for the Recently Deceased. We don't know. The only telling thing about Beetlejuice that we have is that damn flame. That's it. But
didn't somebody say about the little houses for the model being seen
yes,
over
But
by
Losh-
the Yes.
So here's my take. That's not Beetlejuice. It's Urban Inferno. The book is.
that's what I said. I was like,
Beetlejuice.
Urban Inferno, the scare
And
zone, the
then-
great scare zone.
And then
Wow.
the Halloween 3 is turning into Spirits and Demons of the East. That's
Well, to go on that stupid take that you had, Adrian, you know, in 2020, the rumor was All Hallows Eve was going to be a maze. So why
Oh.
wouldn't they do Urban Inferno? Like, just saying. Think about
Yeah,
it
that's
here.
definitely
you heard
correct.
it here first,
Yeah.
folks.
Yep.
just
No,
throw
but
a
I'm-
wrench into everything.
I'm telling
It's
you,
actually a pop-up book, and it's gonna be Tooth Fairy.
I want
There you
to.
go.
I want to
Tooth- there
do
we go.
my.
There we
Tooth
go.
Fairy, it's a
Tooth Fairy's
pop-up book,
mother would-
man.
I want to
There
do
you go.
my prediction right now, because I put this prediction in chat. I haven't publicly talked about it, going back to the Halloween 3 thing, but I
He's in
think
the
it's
chat.
true. It's true what you say, Michael. How it'd be weird that they keep it up for so long and then all of a sudden they just take it out. And I also get Rob's point where, you know, they could just be building suspense. But I think with Hollywood, they're not good at, you know, kind of marketing to the fans and stuff like that, like Orlando is, to where they like play those games, games that Orlando does. I mean, they freaking said comment if you want an announcement, and they didn't allow anyone to comment. So that's
So dumb.
that's so dumb. But I think, bold prediction, you heard it here first, on June 6th, I think that Halloween 3, they lost the rights. Something got scrapped, and that it's gonna turn into Spiral since a general warehouse facade can work with Spiral.
Oh
That's
no.
my guess.
Oh no.
My bold prediction. And if
Uh.
if it happens, the community is gonna come after my head because I've spoken into existence.
Spirits and demons of the east.
Or
I
that
thought
too.
I thought that's what it was gonna be.
That
from
was
the
originally what it was
beginning.
gonna like. Everyone was talking about.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a warehouse facade.
But any last general thoughts on Hollywood construction?
You just broke my heart, Scott.
Good.
He's
I'm
gonna rip
glad.
his shirt off right now. Just know that.
Yeah. He's just gonna do the podcast naked. Something more lighthearted. I guess everyone here has written it besides Rob. But Rob's obviously seen the pictures and stuff.
Yes.
The Velocicoaster, I want to do an open discussion, review with everyone. Oh yeah, you didn't write it.
Michael,
huh?
yeah, Michael.
Michael didn't write it.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
We're on the
well,
same
Connor,
boat.
opened up-
We're on the
It
same
opened up
boat.
a week. It opened up a week after I left.
Connor, myself, and Adrian have written it, and
Adrian.
Michael's got to see it in person at least.
I've seen other people ride it.
All right, open discussion, everybody.
It's goat.
Yeah.
It is GOAT. I'll also say that.
Just pretty amazing, to be honest. Like, first of all, just even before you get on the ride, I want to give my compliments to the operations team, because this thing is a throughput titan. Like when it's running all the trains, like, and obviously there hasn't been express yet. So, I mean, when I rode it last time, I think the posted weight was 60, and we got up to the station in 40. So it's running really well. The line's always moving. Q is great. Obviously the elements are great, with the highlight being the roll over the water. I mean, that element.
Mosasaurus roll.
The
Connor's a big
Mosasaurus
fan.
roll. That thing is literally quite literally trying to kill you.
It is.
Like, because you just go into it at such a high speed that it just rips you. It is so
and
good.
then it makes you like, it's like trying to take your lap bar off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say it is, and I said this in my vlog, is I'm skeptical and stuff like this when just any people in general, more specifically Orlando people, they're like, this thing is goated. This is the greatest thing ever. And I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know why I'm skeptical about it, because just some stuff has fallen through in the past. But this is quite literally, like, if not the best coaster I've ever been on.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely the top 3. It is. And we have a lot of coasters here in California, as Rob knows. It is quite literally a go-to coaster. That the second launch is ridiculous. You hear the launch powering up and you're like, holy shit, this is insane.
Universal just keeps delivering. Like,
Universal
with their new
is
stuff, like-
killing it right now, man. Velocicoaster just, man, that thing, because we rode it once during the daytime. We rode it once when it was like sunset, so it still wasn't dark. And the different ride experiences on that top hat view is crazy. And you're up there for a while. And like you said, the Mosasaurus rolls, and just the one roll after the top hat where you're just upside down for a little
the
bit.
stall.
Oh, the
yeah.
stall.
Yeah, dude, it is. That ride is insane. And I just want to give a huge props to whoever designed the whole coaster and just everyone a part of it, because that ride is so accommodating for the ride vehicles, and just the locker system is super cool. It's everything about that attraction. I don't think I'd change anything. There's not much you can do with the queue, but they still delivered on the queue.
Yeah.
And it is just, they made every mark with the coaster. They did not miss any single mark, from the theming to the ride accommodation to the queue to the lockers. They hit every single mark.
Thinking about those lockers are pretty cool. Put stuff in one side,
hope-
you can take it out the other.
I know. It is
I
insane.
hope that no ride that opens from here on out does not have that. Like,
Dude,
please.
Savannah was like obsessed with that. She kept talking about it. She's like, that locker system's so cool.
They
I was like,
told me
I
about the
know.
locker system when I went to just like check out the entrance, because I wasn't able to go on.
Mhm.
And they were like talking about it. I was like, that's a pretty good idea.
And the operations are so quick with it too. Like, it doesn't seem to be an issue down there.
Yeah. I want to go back on to what Scott was saying about how Universal's killing it. So, ever since Fast and Furious, I think Universal's learned their lesson.
Yeah.
It's a wake-up call.
Because
Like-
it was a wake-up call. After that,
Like-
we got Hagrid's. We got Jurassic World over there. Like, the whole redo with the Indominus now open. Got Secret Life of Pets and now Velocicoaster. I think this is all gearing towards us getting an amazing epic universe.
And then Super
yeah.
Nintendo World is going to open next year at Hollywood.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's just going to be
And-
so much they've learned. It's crazy.
And I want to say, don't sleep on the Bourne show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
Hey,
Bourne
uh,
Spectacular is phenomenal.
In a resort that's, in my opinion, kind of lacking in quality shows, it's really good to have another option, because pretty much the only show that I was seeing at Universal was horror makeup.
Mhm.
But now it's good to have like another option, and it is really impressive from a technical standpoint. So
Yeah, I can't wait for you to see it, Rob. I think that you'll really like it because it matches Waterworld. Waterworld's still like one of the best stunt shows, but Bourne is really good.
Well, I mean, we have animal actors, right? That
matches up to Bourne for sure.
that's amazing.
we have that too.
They have
They have animal actors too.
No, but
Yeah.
you guys have animal actors in action
location.
or whatever. On location.
On
We have
location.
animal actors featuring Secret Life of Pets, okay? So
Oh.
They have 2 Secret Life of Pets attractions. I gotta go.
We
I
are
check
know,
not the
right?
same.
Adrian, what do you think about how everything's run at Velocicoaster, like them being able to unload and load super fast?
I love it. That ride is a people eater. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. I'll be honest. Beforehand, I was super scared that I wouldn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing how accommodating that seat is to big guys is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I was worried. I was genuinely
Because
worried.
Hagrid's
I'm like,
has
I'm
an
not gonna
issue.
fit.
Hagrid's doesn't have a major issue, but it does, like, you have to like sit in and if you're like a bigger build, you need to sit in the
In the
Bike,
bike.
right?
bike,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, dang. Like, yeah, Hagrid was big, so he had to sit in the bike. But, like, come on. Sometimes I want to be Harry Potter, too. Like,
Sometimes I want to switch it up.
Yeah.
exactly. But going back to Velocicoaster, the way they handle everything is crazy. They have 24 rows, right? 24, no, 12, 22, 12. And they have 24 people that can ride. And it just goes so quick. Like, I wasn't expecting that. You go to rides that are there, like Hagrid's that just opened a few years ago, and getting on that ride now is a pain. When last time I went on it, I waited 2 hours to get on it. I was like, this is insane. And I was in the caves.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
just takes way too
the
long.
load and unload time for Velocicoaster is crazy because I guess it goes back to Connor's point. You get into the station or like you get done with the ride and you wait 1 second, you're in the station unloading and then going, and another train comes. Like, it's not just wait around for 2 minutes. It's literally every single second.
Yeah, there's always a train.
And
Like,
one thing I like about the loading station is it's so simple yet so intimidating. Like the big screens with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and just them talking about it is the ride queue.
Yeah.
Is so intimidating to like build you up to the actual attraction.
Chris Pratt's character is literally going like, "Hey, this is a terrible idea. You should probably turn around. You're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to die."
what could go wrong?
Or like how he's in the launch section just standing there like
Yeah.
it's really neat. I
I
can't
want
wait
to know,
for Rob and Michael to actually ride it.
I want to know about your first times like riding it.
October.
Like what your moment was like the first time you rode it.
Adrian heard me.
Yeah, I heard Scott. Literally, we were going up the lift
Dude.
hill and explicit words here, explicit words here.
Bro,
lift to the right. Oh my gosh.
I've never reacted to a coaster like that in my life, dude. Never. And the
Did you-
whole time, I'm like, oh my god, holy shit, oh my god. Like the top hat, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. For me, it was pass holder preview, and I got an 8 p.m. time slot because I wanted to get a night ride for my first ride. And I was with my friend Kyle from View from the Cheap Seats. Shout out to Kyle. And I just remember we get on, and he was pretty nervous.
Mhm.
He's like, dude, there, no shoulder restraints. Like, this thing is gonna just kill us. And I'm like, let's go. I hope so. This is gonna be crazy. So we,
Like, I
So
hope
we-
I fall into the water.
so we get on and we do the ride, and I just remember the look on his face and probably the look on my face when we turned to each other after we hit the brakes. Just our eyes were like popping out of our head. We were like, did they really just build that? Like,
Dude, I like
I'll
I said,
never forget
that
that.
second launch is something that you don't really experience at any other park. You do experience launches that fast that like you take off at a certain point, but
mhm.
this you're already coming at speed into the launch. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, that is insane. And then what's it called? Like you said, like how there's no shoulder restraints. That's a part of the experience. That
'Cause-
feeling of you being out of the seat.
Because I mean, what is this coaster missing? You know, you have launches, you have near miss elements, you have some really crazy inversions. You get airtime, especially on the top hat. When that train like yanks you up the top hat, your butt's out of your seat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like the complete package.
And
Yeah,
you got
Adrian over here wants to
real
roll back.
live Raptors.
Oh yeah, when you actually
Raptors.
pay attention to the ride, you can see the Raptors. But when you're just like on the
Yeah.
first time, you don't notice the Raptors at all.
Yeah, you have like no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
You just
Yep.
hear random like growls, and you're like, "Oh, that was nice."
No, Adrian, talk about your little rollback idea that I think is
I want a
stupid.
rollback so bad. I've seen so in testing and everything, I saw like 3 or 4 rollbacks, and I'm like, I wish I can be on one of those. I've never been on a rollback. I've never been on a ride that just like a launch coaster, technically.
Yeah.
So like that was like my first like launch coaster, and I was like, I want a rollback, and I will get one day. I promise. I don't promise.
I hope that happens for you.
I mean,
Thank you, Rob. If it happens, I will call you right away.
Yes.
Technically, Hagrid's is a launch coaster.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That is a launch coaster. Hagrid's is a launch.
Doesn't
Yeah,
have a
it
hill.
launches.
Doesn't have a
Couldn't
hill, but
you-
it has multiple launches.
Couldn't you
Yeah.
consider the spike part kind of a rollback? I mean, you do roll
And
backwards,
it's kind
right?
of a
That's
rollback.
true.
Yeah, you do
That's
roll
true.
back.
And you're gonna roll back on Icebreaker.
That's true. That's like the whole ride.
If
is
it
roll
ever
back.
opens.
Just rolling back on Icebreaker. Which segues
By the way,
us
we-
into our next topic is will SeaWorld and Busch Gardens ever open their new coasters? We have Pantheon, Icebreaker, Emperor, and Iron Gwazi. 4 rides, 4 coasters that are completely 100% done. When will they open the coasters? Never. That's my guess.
Never.
2040.
2040. I hope by Howl O Scream. That's all I can say. I hope by Howl O
Yeah.
Scream.
In
But I have
all
my doubts.
seriousness, on each of you guys' takes, when do you think a timeline is? Do you think it's this year, late this year, or do you think it's next year?
When do I really truly think and not just
Like,
hope?
realistically.
I want to say spring 2022. That might be a little pessimistic because I think it could open for Howl O Scream possibly, but I don't want to get my hopes up for that.
Mhm.
I
I'm
think
going spring
SeaWorld
2022.
I think SeaWorld lost so much money that, you know, they're worried about the operation costs of opening 4 new coasters across their parks. So, you know, I think having these new Howl O Scream events in Orlando, San Diego is a way for them to make back some of the revenue they lost. So maybe after that, they'll be financially a little better. I know they're starting to recover already, but they'll be even better off after the fall. So then maybe they can focus on opening, but I hope they open them by Howl O Scream.
Yeah, my thought process is for it. There's a few of them that I do think are going to open before others. The one that I think is going to be the last to open is going to be Iron Gwazi. Iron Gwazi, I think, no matter what, is probably going to be the last one to open, just because they have so many issues with the manufacturer to begin with not being able to do payments and stuff for it.
I think that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire company.
That's the whole company, period.
Uh-huh.
Like all
Is
the
it?
coasters.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
coasters
That's
across the
because
board,
that
it's
was
the
a
issue.
big
Because that's the
issue with
only one I've
Emperor.
heard of that has actually been publicly talked about, is the fact that they have an issue with Iron Gwazi.
No, well, yeah, because I think that one was still under construction. Emperor is still technically under construction with Pantheon and Icebreaker. They're done. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the 2 that I think will probably open before Howl O Scream, if any of them open this year.
Hmm.
The Pantheon and Icebreaker.
And it's interesting because I'm pretty sure all of these coasters, all 4 of them are different manufacturers. So they've got to pay, you know, all this money to different manufacturers, I believe. I'm not sure who's doing Icebreaker, but I know the other 3 are different.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
Yeah, let's see
Icebreaker's
who's-
Premier.
While
it's
you're looking
Premier.
that up, I can definitely see these all opening by fall.
Yep.
Being
Premier.
because they're gonna try to bring in as many people as they can for Howl O Scream.
That's
And
true.
advertising that you have the new event and you have this new coaster. Because put
Right
into
there,
perspective,
right
they
where
have-
the entrance is going to be at in Orlando.
right where the entrance is for SeaWorld, you have that right there. For Busch Gardens, it's also right at the entrance. So I mean, I can definitely see them. Only thing I don't know where Pantheon is technically on the map for Williamsburg, but I can see them opening that as well to try to call more people in.
Yeah.
A
And I
little
do
like,
think
hey, boom, boom.
Michael kind of raised an interesting point that it's not necessarily a foregone conclusion that all of these coasters are going to open like right at the same time.
Mhm.
Icebreaker seems like it maybe could be the first one. I don't know, but I think it maybe could depend on a park to park basis based on money. I know the whole company's kind of in debt, but they might be able to justify opening up the SeaWorld Orlando one first because that park's been operating for longer than the SeaWorld San Diego park. So they've had more time to bring in some money for that park individually. So that could definitely end up playing in. They don't necessarily all have to open on like the same day or the same week, you know.
Yeah, that
So-
would be way too big of a financial hit to open them all simultaneously.
Yeah, you'd think you'd want to like, especially when you look at Iron Gwazi and Icebreaker because they're so close together.
Yes.
You know, you'd want to like open Icebreaker, have the hype for that, and then open Iron Gwazi, have its own hype. So
Rob, you got your coaster background. What's your take on all this?
I kind of along the lines of with Michael there. I think that it sounds just from based off what you guys are saying and my knowledge of it. You're gonna kind of want to spread these out a little bit, and I think more likely the ones I guess that are still under construction. You're looking at summer next year. You know, hopefully everything's, you know, people can be in the parks at 100% capacity. But I think this year, like kind of all you guys were saying, it's along with your Halloween events, it gives you another reason, because some people maybe they just want to go to ride a ride, and it gives you another reason to kind of get more people who are not there specifically for a Halloween event who just want to ride rides, to bring them in. So it's, you know, it's just more kind of brings more people into the crowd, and it makes sense to stagger them, as far as you don't want one, right, you know, here's 1 month and then the next month and then here's one 2 months later. You kind of want to spread them out. Just, I mean, that's just kind of knowledge when it comes to theme park ride openings, period.
yeah, like they wouldn't want to step on their own toes, you know.
Right.
But here's one thing I will say: when they were going to open Iron Gwazi and they were going to open Icebreaker, they were both scheduled for spring 2021.
That's true.
And then all of a sudden it just disappeared. And this was even after they reopened.
But spring is also like a 3-month period of time, right?
Yeah.
So they could open one the beginning of spring, one the end.
Technically,
one
spring ends in like a couple weeks. So
but now it's like anticipation and
anticipated opening.
Well, ours Emperor was supposed to open like I think May. No, it was like April in 2020. Obviously, they closed down, but it was going to open. Like it was done. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With San Diego, I feel like in specific, and going to like how Adrian and Michael say about bringing like more people into their parks. San Diego's so split apart from the haunt scene in LA and just Orange County and stuff. So I feel like A, they want people to come to Howl O Scream, and B, they also want people to come for Emperor. So they want to make their mark to people in Orange County area and be like, come on down, you know, keep coming back to the park. Because I remember like even going to like the different media events I've gone to, everyone there is from OC. Everyone says like, oh yeah, we're from Orange County, we hit traffic, blah, 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 blah. The only local theme park enthusiasts that are going to San Diego is me. That's all. And that's it. Like we need more OC people. And we need more coverage for that park. But I think that everyone here had a good take on that. Just
before we move forward, right? I want to add one thing. I saw this tweet the other day and it kind of blew my mind. It's crazy to think that Iron Gwazi has almost been sitting abandoned as long as Gwazi was.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
That's hard to believe. Gwazi, I felt like was abandoned for like 900 years.
It was actually just 3.
Yeah, just only 3 years of them sitting in non-operational coaster there.
There's tons of osprey nests. But just up the street from San Diego, in California in specific, Avengers Campus just opened up at Disneyland.
This should be an
or California Adventure for that matter. And I have a lot to say about this, so I'm not going to start off.
I want to start with the West Coasters on this one, actually.
Rob, you can take it away. Because
start with
Rob. I'll go off, everybody.
All right, guys. Well, I have not been there in person, but like,
I want to say that none of us have been there in person, so don't be trying to like,
so
on certain things.
So this is all pictures and videos and stuff. For me personally, hopefully no one gets upset. I think it's okay. I think it was a little bit. I was expecting more. we get some I've seen some POVs of the Spider-Man ride, the web slinger ride. It looks okay. To me, I was expecting a lot more, and watching the videos, and again, if I was there, maybe I'd feel a completely different way.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at stuff, looking at these pictures, looking at these videos, I was a little underwhelmed, and I was expecting more. But again, I think that seems like this land seems like something you probably need to be there to kind of get the feels and kind of maybe experience. I feel like this is more of an experience kind of thing, and not so much.
They needed a Marvel land.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, they needed it. It's there. I just for me, I don't know if it's something that I'm not in a hurry to be like, oh, I need to check this out. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
when future rides open up, that's the time where I'll be like, okay, I got to go check this out. But as of right now, it looks cool. There's a lot of crowd, a lot of people. I'm like, yeah, too many people for me. I'm gonna wait.
So like Avengers Campus as a whole is a good land. I think it's good. It's decent. It was a little bit of a letdown, but I was expecting for it to be that way. There needs to be more things to do. Shows and entertainment aren't going to last for the long run. That's how it is. It's what's going to last for the long run is the rides, experiences, and stuff like that. The Quinjet is going to be coming, and
Mhm.
God forbid it gets scrapped. Disney just needs to stop opening lands when they don't have all the rides open. It happened with Smuggler's Run. It's just ridiculous. Now, when you open up the land, Avengers Campus, and you promise Spider-Man to be great, you add a virtual queue to it, almost hinting at like tourists coming over thinking that they need to ride this attraction, thinking that they need to get the virtual queue because it's so important that you need a virtual queue. And then they get off it and they realize that they could have ridden Ride of Resistance. That's disappointing. Spider-Man is not a good attraction. It's just not. And I know you can come at me for not riding it yet because I'm sorry, I'll ride it eventually and I'll say the same thing. There's certain attractions that you can tell that aren't good from a video. And this is one of the ones. And there's a big reason why, because what they promised is not what they gave us. They promised a lot more detail and practical stuff. It wasn't. You're in a warehouse. You're going to different screens. The screens are set up exactly like Toy Story Mania. Exactly like Toy Story Mania, moving from scene to scene. And there's no like cool transitions or anything. And then you're just doing the little Ninjago thing. There's nothing special about it. And that's why I say it's bad because yes, I'm all for I'm all for
freaking Rob and
shooter
Adrian throwing up
rides,
gang signs.
and I'm all for like just rides like that. Like I don't care if they're not thrilling or whatnot. But with Disneyland in specific, you have Astro Blasters, which is its own, gun shooter. And you have Toy Story Midway Mania, where you're going from screen to screen and you're pulling little strings. Why do we need another one? Why couldn't it have been something else? And I get they don't have a lot of space, but with the space that they had, they still could have put something else. And that's just my takeaway from it. Avengers Campus looks fun. It was a tad bit of a letdown. I think it's going to be a great land to walk in as an annual pass holder. Right now that none of us have annual passes, I don't think that it's really something that I'm like, I need to go out and see. But I think that it's a good land, and obviously Disney needed it. But as far as the attraction goes that's currently in there, the queue looks better. And that's just my take. And like I said, I haven't ridden it. It could change when I ride it, but odds are it won't because that's how everything has happened. Dude, everybody got on me about saying, oh, Fast Pass should stay away because there are shorter lines. And everyone's like, oh, you have a smaller capacity at Disneyland. Trust me, it's not the same in Florida. It was the same in Florida. Fast Pass is still the devil.
So I'll give some thoughts on the Avengers Campus, obviously from afar, because I'm in Florida and I probably won't see this for a while. And I can only go based off videos, like Scott said. So I'm not saying this is a final opinion. But my very first prevailing thought was like, this is the MCU, which is like one of the biggest things in the whole world, right? So I was really thinking that this land needed to be like perfection to really match like how big of a deal the MCU is. And I just don't think it quite lived up to that. The coolest thing is the stunt animatronic, which is really sick. And and I think some of the food choices at the Pim restaurant look really interesting. But yeah, no, I'm gonna have to agree with Scott in that the Web Slingers ride does not really look good, in my opinion. I'm not really a big fan of Toy Story Mania personally, and obviously this kind of reminds me of that, but a little more exhausting. However, I will say, I will say, because Disney, I don't like that they keep doing this phase reopening or not reopening, opening of the lands. Imagine how much different the tone of this land and like the reviews would have been if Guardians of the Galaxy and Quinjet opened with the land. Like, it would have been a totally different story, because like Scott said, the rides are ultimately the biggest part of it.
Well, yeah, and Connor talked to me about this yesterday. Is like if Guardians and Strange World wouldn't have opened until Avengers Campus came along and the Quinjet and Spider-Man, then everyone would be see it like, oh my god, that land's so great. It's so nice to have these two e-ticket attractions and then have one to just, it's kind of enjoyable. It's not the greatest, but it's still enjoyable.
Yeah, because then Spider-Man not being the best wouldn't have been as big of a deal. And I think it might be like that in the long run. But, just right now, I don't know. It was a little underwhelming, but I think once the Quinjet opens, I'm just really hoping that's like a big game changer, like just an amazing attraction. So time will tell.
Piggyback off of that, right? To piggyback, imagine back 2017, right? What if Pandora would have opened with just Na'vi?
I
would have been the same thing.
I saw that you retweeted that or something today.
Yeah.
It would have been the same thing. Like
it would have been the same thing. Everyone would have been like, that land is trash. And then Flight of Passage would have opened. They would have been like, wow, that's a great ride. But that land sucks because of what happened before. Yeah. I feel like the mental thing is going to be the same thing for Avengers Campus. Because as soon as they open that Quinjet attraction, hopefully, fingers crossed, it ends up being a good attraction. But I hope that's what happens, that it's like, oh, this is great. This ties the land all together. But back to the Spider-Man ride, if I want to ride a Ninjago ride, I'll go to Legoland. Anyways, we can continue. Go ahead. Have fun.
You guys, you need
I'm good. I've said
you
it
need a
all.
virtual queue to get into the land, correct?
Yeah. That's what
Why?
I figured.
If standby gets too long.
Why do you need a standby to get into the?
Oh no, you know what? No, you don't need a virtual queue to get in the line. You need it's just a 4-hour standby right now. It's a 4-hour standby with the hope that you have a Spider-Man boarding group around that same time.
Wow.
Or that you have a mobile order time slot for that time too.
I don't know.
So it's
That
kind of like
sounds
to get into World
like
of
a
Disney
lot.
during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It just sounds like it requires so much planning to make it go smoothly.
And here's the thing, right? Why didn't they just do it like Galaxy's Edge, where they just did a time reservation slot to get in, and you don't need a virtual queue for Spider-Man. You just need standby. I don't get it. Galaxy's Edge went so good with reservation, so good.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even gone. Like no, they didn't sell out right away, and that was a land that had so much demand for it. It's because they had different time slots, and obviously it'd be different with the pandemic and everything, but still it's a lot easier way to do it than saying, hey, show up and hope that you get in and hope that you get a virtual queue for Spider-Man and hope that you get a mobile order and hope that shows are going on. And
It sounds like there's no way you could do it all. Like,
yeah,
Sounds like a lot of hope.
it's like you have to, if you want to go to Avengers Campus right now, you have to stay in the land for like 6 hours, like, which there's not a lot to do for
that long. Yeah.
Speaking of letdowns on the West Coast, moving over to the East Coast, Boo Bash at Magic Kingdom. Oh,
Do
man.
I have a lot to say about this?
Yeah, I figured this would be Michael's topic right here.
This is the Michael topic.
Welcome to Michael's TED Talk, where we talk about the biggest waste of resources at Disney since I don't know how long, but they give you absolutely nothing for a bloated price tag and expect people to go. And I really, like I said in my video the other day, I feel bad for whoever decides to spend and fork out the money for this, expecting to get something that's good.
Dude, I said this on Twitter. You cannot defend the Boo Bash like as a whole event. There's parts that you can defend it, but you can't justifying spending that money. It's just not
the price tag. Yeah,
especially when you've had an event in the past that has been way more for way less.
There's tons to do.
It was $80 before.
Yeah.
80.
And you get candy trails, you get shows, you get meet and greets, you get all this stuff.
Yeah.
But no, for this, it's just an after-hours event that just happens to be in the fall.
Well, yeah, because they're doing
No candy, no
trick-or-treating. I don't
shows.
think they're going to
Well,
do candy trails.
I think here's my little prediction here. They're gonna have a projection show, like not characters out there, just like not scheduled, just kind of like
Random.
the castle kind of
like the Tower of Terror one.
like the
during
Tower of Terror.
Christmas.
They did that at Oogie
Exactly
Boogie
like
Bash.
that.
They had like a little
Exactly like
projection going on consistently.
Something
on
like that. I
Carthage
feel like
Circle.
that can happen.
But yeah, that's totally worth the price tag for sure.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Oh yeah, $130 price
And-
tag. Yeah, sure.
Well, you know, the sad thing is like you said, you feel bad for people that spend the money. I don't. Like, why,
They knew what they were getting themselves into.
like if it, I mean, I
Like-
feel bad if it's like a family on vacation and they don't.
Yeah.
No.
The
Don't know
tourist,
any
the
better?
tourist sense
Yeah.
of it.
If
But
they don't
people
know
in the
any
theme
better.
park community who know and like they just spend the money anyway because Disney. Like, come
Well, they're
on,
doing
guys.
it for the views.
Like, vote with your wallet.
Well, they're doing it for the views because they're gonna pay that $200 ticket and they're gonna make back like $3,000 out the one video. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
What's $3,000? I don't know.
It's just unfortunate. Like, it looks like a very watered down bad event, and like
And then the crappy thing about that is the people who are making those videos are gonna encourage people to come to the event and spend
Yeah.
their money.
listen
More
to the
people are
Boo
gonna go.
Bros. Listen to the Boo Bros on this.
Yeah, we
one.
keep it 100 here.
Don't spend your money on this.
Go to
Spend your
SeaWorld.
money. Yeah, spend your money on
Orlando.
Howl O
Howl O
Scream.
Scream.
Support the new.
And
Hunt.
if you want something for kids, SeaWorld does a good Halloween spectacular.
Yeah, and
there
you
you go.
can actually get candy there.
Uh-huh.
It is
I
true.
promise we're not promoted from that. We're not like sponsored by SeaWorld.
Yeah.
But I mean,
SeaWorld,
like,
if
they
you're
want to,
watching,
like
if
they
you're
want to,
watching,
yeah.
we love you.
San Diego, I
Sometimes.
love you and all, but I'll call out San Diego when they do stuff wrong.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. But yeah, no Boo Bash.
Boo Bash is not good.
It's 3
Boo
hours.
Bash is a boo
Why would
bro
you spend
no.
$200 for 3 hours?
Like
Just buy a day ticket, like if you want to
Exactly.
go. Like,
Like,
yeah.
still had a show that
And
you-
the after hours events that they do make it specifically like, oh, you're coming for the rides and attractions and stuff, and they're not priced as high.
Yeah.
but this is priced so astronomically high that it just doesn't make sense.
When 130 is the minimum ticket, I just think that's ridiculous.
And then
Like when you have 130 to 200, that is just
yeah,
insane.
lot of money.
That's how much it is to park hop at Disneyland right now.
Yeah.
The
I'm
park
hopping on
hop.
a plane. I'm hopping on a plane. I'm going on a plane right now.
You're telling me you can park hop at Disneyland and California Adventure, but you can get a Boo Bash ticket for 3 hours for one
3
park.
hours.
It'll probably be
Yeah.
crowded too.
I
like-
mean, Magic Kingdom is a big park.
Yeah,
I
but they're
mean-
gonna fill that to the brim. Dude, they're gonna fill that to the brim.
here's my thing. Like, I've never been to Mickey's Not So Scary, but I have seen like nights where it gets quite busy and like the ride wait times are pretty long. And then it's like there's not even like any specific events like the shows or the parades or anything to pull people away.
yeah. I
So,
went to
like,
The only
what
thing
the
they
heck?
have is the cavalcades. The
Yeah.
character cavalcades.
Well, dude, that
'Cause
like
they
I
have
said in the
the
video that I did
villains.
for Boo
Yeah.
Bros, it's like they're not gonna make as big crowds with the cavalcade and stuff because they're gonna be so random.
Yeah.
I went to Very Merry a few years ago, and wait times were down because they had all those things that pulled people away from from the rides. They had the food that you could get, the like the trails and stuff for that. They had the shows, they had the fireworks, they had all that, and wait times were like the most I think was 20 minutes, and that was for Seven Dwarves.
But then,
Yeah.
like, even if like you say you wait for like $7, it turns out to be 20 minutes. You have 2 hours and 2.5 hours left in your night.
Yeah, that's it's so
Yeah.
crazy. It's only 3 hours for.
Well, that's what I mentioned in the video. Is like, okay, say you want to go eat. It takes you like 25 minutes to eat. You have 2.5 hours left. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's wild. It is absolutely wild. And it's like with Oogie Boogie Bash. Like I know you said you've never been to one, Connor, but like with these Halloween parties, they get freaking crazy. Like the character meet and greet lines, that you're gonna be waiting at least like 20 minutes for each
It's
one.
like yeah.
And 5 hours.
we
is a good
had
time
one-
for-
We don't even have that
yeah, exactly.
for this. Like,
I mean, this is basically like what me and Michael checked out last year at Magic Kingdom,
Yeah.
but without the extra price tag. We just had our annual passes.
and
The
at
same
night.
thing. At night.
At night.
Oh, at night. Oh.
It's the same thing. You're just gonna go have no one in front of you while you're going to go look at some Tron construction. That's probably the only plus you have right now. That's probably it.
But guess what? If you buy a day ticket to Magic Kingdom, you can still go at night most times of the year because the park is open pretty late. So
Yep.
even then, it's like,
At night.
yeah, just get a day
So-
ticket and go. Like, come on.
So we're going to dive into our last topic here since we're running along a time, long podcast, but a very strong podcast. It's kind of an exciting thing, but it's also kind of a little bit unsettling, and that is the Queen Mary right now is in potential of sinking. If it doesn't get the repairs it needs, which will cost $23 million to repair that
Let me get
old
my
ship.
wallet.
Hold on. Let me call John.
But developing Long Beach is going to start the repairs for the Queen Mary. And you East Coast people can also talk on this because of Dark Horizons and that whole company ordeal, and what is going to be the future of Dark Harbor and Dark Horizons.
Let it sink. Let
Whoa.
Wait, let it sink in.
let-
Let it sink in.
Yeah,
No,
let the ship sink. I'm okay. No.
Underwater haunts. What?
Yes.
Scuba diving haunts.
I'm okay. Actually, you know what? I mean, not like have serious. I think that it would be super eerie, like just have the Queen Mary like right below the water line there, just forever.
Oh my god, that'd be so creepy.
Yeah, it would be. But I again, I seen this information and I kind of found out what I could, and it was just, I'm glad that the city of Long Beach is kind of stepping up. Hopefully, I don't think anything's gonna happen this year as far as Dark Harbor or anything like that with the Queen Mary, but it gives me hope for future years. As far as Long Beach goes, the Queen Mary has been there for years. It's iconic with Long Beach. I've been on that ship for different events. I think I've had like a banquet there one time, and it is super eerie. Just walking through there, I'm glad someone's stepping up to do something with the ship. I don't know if anything, like I said, I don't know if anything's gonna happen this year, but to see the wheels start to rolling with the Queen Mary, it gives me hope for future years. And it's going to cost a lot of money to fix that ship, but I think it's going to bring, I don't know how long it's going to take to make up, to bring in money, but it's going to bring in revenue, and hopefully they don't have to put a lot of investment. And once they fix it, they don't have to keep fixing it as much as this big hit's going to take. But I have hope for the Queen Mary and future events to happen there.
Honestly, haunts aside for the Queen Mary, just losing a historical landmark such as that would be a big hit to that area. Like, because my grandparents, when they took a trip out to California, they went to the Queen Mary just to go on a tour of it, just because of the fact that it's a legitimate haunted.
Well, dude, it's
abode.
really creepy. Like you're allowed to walk through some of the Queen Mary sometimes, and like during Dark Harbor, and just the vibe of it is just creepy.
Like losing something like that though would just be it would change the whole dynamic of that area.
I don't know. I think that it's too much, like you said, of a historic thing for Long Beach to let go. As far as Dark Harbor goes, I don't think I 100% guarantee it's not happening at the ship this year. Or let's say 99%, because I'm not like the official person. 99% sure it's not going to happen at the ship. I do think it will happen, but I don't think it'll happen at the ship. Dark Horizon, I think will happen too. I think Dark Horizons is going to get the motive because all these haunt events are popping up now in Orlando.
Not this year.
I think so. I think they have the motive.
I think Dark Horizon might be dead.
I think the fact that there's other haunts happening now might be what killed it. I'm in a group on Facebook. It's Facebook groups. You guys, if you know, you know. Anyways, if there's a Facebook group and it's called Florida Haunt Community, there's this guy in there that worked on Dark Horizon, and he's basically looking for a job. And there's a ton of people that were on Dark Horizon in his comic section just saying, yeah, we can't find anything ever since that's done, and it doesn't look like it's coming back. And that's coming from like 10 to 20 people that worked at the event, not as characters, as like creative.
Hey,
and,
but what if?
Yeah, there's a huge what if. There's always that what if for everything.
I think it's definitely the one that they would scrap. Like, and I think I don't really know how well it actually did in 2019 because oh wait, is Scott returning?
He's coming back.
I think so.
He is. Hey. But you know what? It's weird. Whenever you take your mask off, Scott, I feel like your hair looks darker.
It is darker.
Because your picture had a mask on and you were so blonde.
I do get it.
You get it.
It's a joke.
But no, I don't know. I don't know how well Dark Horizon actually did because I don't honestly remember hearing anything about it after like the first night at all. And I know that might not be an indicator, but I just don't think it was that popular. And I think they may have lost that location too. So they probably were going to have to try and find a new location. If I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard that.
They're just going to go right behind White Castle.
Oh no.
Well, when Adrian pointed out where it was at, the location, I was like, wow, that looks small.
It was small. It was kind of, yeah, dude, I miss the Nick Hotel so much.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh wow, that was a Nick Hotel like space. That's all they had for it too. Like,
yeah, dude. Not to get off topic, but that place was legit. But yeah, no, I think they were gonna lose the location. So they probably would have had to try and nail down a new location. And I'm not saying it's impossible. Like Dark Horizon might come back, but I'm kind of leaning towards it might be a goner.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dark Harbor I think is still staying around, but just not to the ship. Yeah, that or neither of them can happen. I think Dark Harbor makes a ton of money just off alcohol alone. So
yeah,
and they don't really they only rent out the indoor spots for the Queen Mary. I'm sure they rent out that parking lot too, but I'm assuming that the renting space isn't as expensive because after all, Dark Harbor brings a lot of eyes to the Queen Mary as well.
Yeah.
But that was a good podcast, guys. Adrian has one
before we
last
sign
thing to
off,
say.
I have one thing to say. It does not have to do with anything that we talked about.
Nice.
I want to congratulate Rob for hitting 100 subs.
What the heck?
Did you already hit it?
He hit 100 subs.
Idea. Oh
He hit
wow!
100 subs.
Whoa, what?
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow!
He's in the
Thank
chat
you.
for Rob. He's in the chat for Rob. All right.
Wow!
Bees in the chat. Bees in the chat.
Bees.
Guys, I didn't even know that.
The red bee.
Congrats.
Rob's gonna start crying right now. Dude, I didn't know that. I was looking at it the other day and I was like, oh, we're 3 subs away. We got to
I checked it before we came on to the podcast and I was waiting the whole time. It was just there. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
I'm gonna
I was
it.
like, please let people subscribe to Rob after HHN
Yeah.
at home, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone go subscribe to Rob now.
Yeah, everyone
Go sub
subscribe
to Rob.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Did you know?
My eyes are sweating.
Now we're
Wow.
all officially in triple digits.
Yeah.
All triple digits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
And
yeah.
now the next goal is to get everybody into quadruple digits, including the Boo Bros channel. So if you guys are new, subscribe with those bell notifications on. Leave this video a like if you enjoyed the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anything like that, then make sure you come over to the Boo Bros YouTube channel because we have a visual version where I make stupid facial expressions that play into.
Scott disappeared for a while.
I disappeared for a while. Buy your merch. Rob's wearing a SoCalExploring shirt. Adrian's wearing a Boo Bros shirt. And yeah, buy your merch, guys, down below in the description because we got a lot of collections on there. Thanks to Adrian. But my name is Scott from SoCalExploring.
I am Michael from Hallowed Thrills.
I am Rob from the Howling Hour.
I am Connor from ConnerFL.
So I already said I'm Adrian, but I'm Adrian from LoshTV. If you guys didn't know that already.
And we have been the Boo Bros. This has been the Boo Bros podcast episode. Who knows? We'll catch you guys in the next one, everybody. Peace out.